Pearson Ravitz' story begins with Dr. Stephanie Pearson, a passionate OB/GYN at the height of her career. But when a shoulder injury struck during a precipitous delivery, her dreams were shattered, leaving her unable to practice medicine. Determined to make a difference, Stephanie became an advocate for her peers, guiding them through the complex disability process. Alongside insurance expert Scott Ravitz, Stephanie founded Pearson Ravitz, a company determined to approach insurance differently. Together, they set their mission to educate and empower physicians to protect their most valuable asset, their income, and the most important people in their life, their family. Today, Pearson Ravitz serves the medical community in all 50 states. At Pearson Ravitz, they understand the unique concerns of physicians. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Ravitz builds human connections before they create quotes. Life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness or injury could leave you and your family in a devastating financial situation. But with a little planning and guidance, you can prepare for every possibility. Visit PearsonRavitz.com today to schedule your consultation with the Pearson Ravitz advisor.
Finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
Well, I figured what we'd start with is a rabid beaver. I just like saying that.
That sounds really bad in all kinds of ways.
Rabid beaver.
But
I'm not,
if we're taking it literally.
No, this is literally a beaver that was rabid. And it bit a girl swimming in, I believe it was Georgia.
I was just about to say. So we're looking at the New York Post.
Yes, because the story is so completely crazy. But just saying rabid beaver makes me think that this had to be like a punk band from the 1979. Yeah,
that's a great name for a punk band.
Yeah. Well, I'm a rabid beaver. You know what we do? We chew wood. You got wood? We'll chew your wood. That's right.
And of course,
if you have Sex Pistols, you can have rabid beaver.
And of course, because there might people they would have bad teeth that
terrible
looked
teeth.
Like beaver teeth.
And terribly. If they would have chewed more wood in the UK, they would have got rid of some tartar.
more toothpicks, please.
I'm convinced. Yes. You need more toothpicks in the UK.
Goodness. Let's take a look at rabid beaver.
So,
what happened?
Oh man, I don't know what I did. That my terrible Rod Stewart impression has irritated my throat.
Your esophagus.
My esophagus.
As David Carvey would say, is irritated.
So, DNR Wildlife Resources Supervisor Don McGowan. I have to put my glasses on to read this better.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you read.
Told WSB TV that a game warden described the animal as the biggest beaver I've ever seen. So apparently, this DNR wildlife supervisor knows his beaver because it's the biggest beaver he's ever seen. So ergo, he's seen plenty of beaver.
Stop with the puns already. Get on with it.
He estimated it at 50 to 55 pounds.
That's a big one.
That's huge. So apparently in Georgia, that's as big as they get. I don't know up in Canada or in Oregon, which is the beaver state, if they get bigger.
Honestly, it's so funny. It's the beaver state because have you ever seen a beaver in Oregon?
Yes, we had one in our water ski lake, and it was an unbelievable nuisance. I literally was actively skiing behind the boat, and a tree fell into the lake at the same time. Yes, that's absolutely true. Because rabid beaver.
It really fell into the lake.
Fell into the lake. Yeah.
There's not much trees around, so I'm trying to imagine where that tree came from.
No, well, on the north side of the lake, there's tons of,
So
okay, so what provoked...
here's my... Okay, you finish the story, not to tell you my beaver experience.
What? I can't wait.
Shut the heck up.
Was that during the experimental time? And
I almost swore, but I tried to keep it...
What provoked the animal's aggression is not immediately clear, as officials said there was no indication um, of, of it protecting baby beavers, which would be less than 50 or 55 pounds. So they're like, it's an unprovoked attack.
Mm-hmm. Like a gator
Ah,
attack. Oh, look at
so
this.
they took
He's so
so
cute.
so it gets better. So this kid gets bitten by rabid beaver, and the father beats it to death with I don't know what, like an oar or a shovel or whatever they had near.
So I
So
was
he
gonna say they didn't know it was rabid at
right,
the
so he
time.
beats it to death. Then the wildlife guys come. And they're like, "Wow, that's a big beaver," and they took the beaver to the lab, chopped its head off, and cultured rabies out of the beaver.
Ooh, that is not good. And so, how's the girl doing, and what's
Well,
happening?
okay. This is the best quote though from the Department of Natural Resources in Georgia. Once the rabies virus gets in the brain, the beaver just kind of went crazy.
That's what they said.
Yes. And so it's interesting because if you think of rabies, so rabies,
Maybe that's what's wrong with a lot of people in society
well, yeah,
today.
no. So the most number of rabies deaths in the United States in recent history was 2001, and it was 5.
But it's usually bats, isn't it?
It's almost 100%. 70% of the cases are bats.
Mhm.
And I think I remember reading this that virtually all of the other cases are animals that were infected by bats and then, went crazy. Like undoubtedly, this beaver was having a smoke on the top of the dam or something and got bitten by a bat. Had
Right.
a fly on
I
its.
know. I remember seeing so many times people would come in and they have animal bites, such as dogs or stray cats, and they freak out. They're worried about, they want to get tested, in urgent care for what about rabies? And I'm like, oh my goodness, no, it's so rare. And usually the animal population that carries rabies is going to be, usually it's bats. You can look it up on, is it the CDC website?
Yeah,
And,
basically the only way you're
and
going
it's
to.
not very
No, it
common at
you
all.
like there's years where there's 0
Yeah.
fatalities. The vaccine for rabies is really safe and effective. Like, okay,
Remember, it
this
used
is
to be like 25 shots in the abdomen kind
well,
of a
no.
thing.
What they do is
Yeah, when we were kids, you
yeah,
hear those horror
well,
stories
you
about
still
someone
get
getting
that
a
because what you get is you get an inactivated rabies vaccine, which is a true vaccine, and it's a 4-shot course of that, and then you get rabies immunoglobulin at the same time. So for post post-exposure prophylaxis, it's actually still a whole bunch of shots,
yeah.
but it works super well. It's virtually 100% preventative of death. And rabies, if you get it and get symptoms, is virtually 100% fatal.
Ooh,
It's wild. But the symptoms take 3 to 6 weeks to develop.
that's
So
frightening.
so the take-home message, if we're gonna actually tell people, even though we don't and we're not practicing medicine here, but this is for entertainment purposes only. But the take-home message is if you have any contact with a bat,
Uh-huh.
especially a live bat, like it
Mhm.
lands, you should consider at least seeking medical help and potentially getting the shots. Because if you wait until you have symptoms, generally the last symptom is you're dead.
That's why I hate bats so much. Also because they can fly down, get stuck in your hair. Remember that bat that got in our house and you turned it into a ridiculous movie that you posted? I'll
I
have to
did. We'll have
resurrect
to
that thing.
resurrect that. I
Yeah, bats freak
smashed
me out.
the living hell out of this
With a
bat
tennis racket.
with a
Was it
badminton
tennis?
racket. No, badminton
Do
racket.
we even
And
have
a
badminton
crushing
rackets?
overhand stunned it. And then
You sandwiched it with 2 badminton rackets and
rackets. I
took it
took it
outside.
outside. We observed it, and then it flew away.
Yes. So no
So
bats were harmed and
I should have probably been vaccinated but I was. Here's something you don't even know. I was vaccinated for rabies.
you were?
Yeah, in 1991.
Wow. The okay, that's like a fun fact I did not know.
Yes, because I was going to Nepal.
And you got bit by a crazy skunk or
No,
a
and I got
squirrel?
a raft of shots.
Oh.
And when I was at the health department in
They gave you
Saskatoon, they
rabies?
said, "We have rabies vaccine, and we'll give it to you for free, because it's going to expire in 2 or 3 days, and we'll just have to throw it out. And I was like, I'm going to be in a place that does not have
That's crazy monkeys.
it. They have, yes, Monkey Temple. And
Okay.
they have a lot of stray dogs that are just
Anyway, so you
completely.
got vaccinated for rabies.
I did.
How long?
Now, I don't know if it
How
gives
long?
you.
I was going to say, how long does it last?
I don't know.
We didn't look it up. You guys can
Apparently,
look it
it
up.
lasts long enough that 18 years later, I was able to
Survive a bat in the
badminton
house.
a bat out of the
Whatever. It
house.
didn't bite you though, so we're all
It
good.
did not bite me. No, but
Okay.
there's
So
stories of guys like literally laying in bed, bat gets in their house, they wake up and it's like biting their neck.
wow,
That's bad.
that's freaky.
Yeah.
Man. I dealt with. Let's see, growing up in Canada, the area that I did in the Great White North with all the lakes and so forth. I did this job one summer for the environmental department at the mine where I worked, and myself and Curtis, another friend, we would go out all the time, and we had to like do water samples and air samples. Well, this one place where it was an effluent river outage or and out from this storage pond, doesn't really matter. This stupid beaver would always want to plug it up and dam the little pond. And I think every time we would go back there every week, you'd like plug the stupid thing up again. And so we spent more time busting up that beaver dam. And it was almost like a scene from Groundhog Day. Or no, not Groundhog Day, the one with the Caddyshack. Just always with that beaver. And
like to kill rodents.
I remember Curtis would get so mad. He would like want to kill the thing. And I think he had a rifle, was trying to shoot the thing. We'd never see it, but I'm like, man, that's all we did. Bust up beaver dams.
No, like as charming as their engineering is, and the fact that they can build dams and have lodges under their dams, they're unbelievably destructive.
So that just makes me think of that. But they're
Rabid Beaver.
and then
Rabid
a lot of people
Beaver.
would hunt them, and their pelts are really like thick and coarse and quite nice.
Well, didn't the RCMP in Canada used to have beaver fur coats?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've petted some. They're quite soft and
nice.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's enough of the beaver story.
On to the next story.
Oh, the gym. The Steelhead Fitness Gym. I never realized that wall was so lime green. Is that current? I think they painted it. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. Tim's showing a picture of the gym and the workout equipment. And this is prompting me to talk about my experience at the gym.
Well, it is positive because we did have an episode that dropped today, actually, about perseverance and how perseverance is probably, if there's a secret key to success, it's perseverance, but it's not just doing the same thing over and over. It's never giving up. And as soon as you fail, figuring out what you did wrong, correcting that and failing forward.
Yeah, not even about doing wrong. I would say sometimes, and I said this in the podcast, even if you're on the right trail, there's obstacles, there's barriers, there's setbacks. Oh my, I'm an expert in setbacks. And that was my point, is that you might sometimes feel like you're taking one step forward, 2, 3, a giant slide back. But you know what? You get up, you dust yourself off, tie the shoes back on, and you keep going. And so I was gonna just share that, most people that have been following us for a while know I've been having a lot of physical struggles this last year, and with my hip replacement in January, that's very slow to heal, and I'm having some complications with we're figuring it out still, tendonitis, because that's what my body does, and my elbow surgery in April. That was a 3-year ordeal with a lot of scarring. So last year, because we hired trainers and we were working with Redefining Strength and our friend Christina, who's coaching us, and I was sharing pics on my Instagram page. And, Tim and I got in amazing shape and learned a lot of techniques. And I probably was in the best shape I have been in the past, I'd say 15 years, not of my life, but 15 years as far as strength. I was really strong, balanced, and it was really exciting. We were both looking, it's not about looks, but it's about strength and functionality and having your muscles actually work together in the right way. Well, I knew what was coming up for this year because of my failing hip, and so I had to give it up lifting anything with my arm in November just because the neuropathy got so bad, and then my hip, and fast forward to basically, as I've been sharing with people, the fact that I'm pretty much, and there's people worse off than me, but for me as an athlete, it's been very humbling how much God has reduced me to almost being inactive for the last 6 to 7 months since January. And after my replacement and then the elbow, not being able to do things and really having to stop and rest. And then it has been humbling. And I feel um, so, I've been feeling so down and depressed about it. Anyway, so fast forward to the gym. What's all this got to do with it? My elbow's been healing well. My hip's getting a little better, but my doc cleared me to start to lift, and start to do things. And I've been very careful.
Could you lift me a sandwich? I'm getting hungry.
You're free to leave, and I will continue the podcast by myself. Go get your own damn sandwich. Here you go.
They're not that heavy.
Exactly. Go do it. Go try it.
Oh,
Try it out. You'd see how they're not that heavy. Anyway,
asshole is my love language.
yes, you wear it well. And so I've been a little scared because 3 years of this pain, I don't wanna undo the surgery, and it's still healing. It's so much better. But I thought, "Okay." Headed to the gym because my PT wants me to start doing some exercises with equipment, that Tim showed you for my quad strength, which, is pathetic. And I went into the gym, and I haven't been in there for a while because we were doing home gym, but doesn't matter. I was like I said, last year I was in such great shape. I feel like I'm at one of the lowest points in fitness in my life ever because it's been 6 to 7 months of atrophy and really not doing much more than walking. I'm able to walk about a mile and a half now. So I picked up 5-pound dumbbells, and that's all I could do with my arms. I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna start right from the beginning, pick up the 5-pound dumbbells in each hand, do some bicep curls, just be really careful, really listen to my body." I did some arm exercises, shoulder exercises. I did the leg machines, um, for my legs. I had it on the lightest weight to almost no weight, and I was blown away at how weak my legs are. I'm not totally surprised. I almost wanted to cry for about 30 seconds, and then I said, "You know what? At least I get to come back here. I've started over before so many
Absolutely.
times, and it's okay because I know how to start over again and how many people have had bigger things in their life, debilitating accidents where they're lucky they can walk." So I gave myself a pep talk, and I'm like, "It's okay. My body knows what to do. It'll take a while." But I think that, and the more you have to persevere and overcome, the better you get at pep talking yourself. So I'm the kind of the queen of overcoming, I say, but it's okay if you've never even gone to the gym before.
Well,
Just
you're at least the princess of overcoming. I'm gonna
oh,
say that the British way.
I
It's
think
not princess,
I
it's
don't know. I have
princess.
had to start all over so many times with these ortho injuries that it's okay if you've never even done it before or if you've had setbacks. Even, gosh, think there's so many professional athletes or people with
Well,
devastating
which
things.
I was gonna
Just
say,
start and just
we
go.
have an interview coming up with Jamie Crazy. If you wanna
Oh,
talk about
yes.
overcoming, this young woman was at the peak, like, of her career, skiing in the, um, X Games, all of these kind of amazing events, running up the leaderboard, has an unbelievably traumatic brain injury, is in a coma for several days,
Yeah,
has to
actually,
learn how to talk again.
I think it was actually 7 to 10 days. And
Anyways, that episode will be coming out in I don't know exactly
in
what
the
date because we have
future,
so many, but
but
it is
it
amazing.
is
Like, you wanna
so
talk about over.
inspiring. And
Yeah.
so when I think of that and I think of people like her and other people I know, I go, you know what? I'm I'm blessed that I get to go back to the gym. Yeah, it sucks to start all over. It sucks to start from ground zero if you've not done stuff before, but you know what? It's okay. At least you're doing it. And So
You know what's
I'm just for me it was like, oh, this is so awesome because I feel so much better
do you know
being
what's
in there. So
worse
I
than
just want to encourage people,
yes, absolutely. Do you know what's worse than not having to start over again?
not starting ever.
Exactly.
So you know what?
That's exactly the
Be
point.
one of those people that just does it. And not only
Okay.
that, because I'm listening to Peter Attia's book. I think it's called
Don't be weak and old is basically what that book should be called.
Outlive. It's fascinating.
Don't be weak and
I have to
old.
do a quick plug for that. The four horsemen of diseases: cardiovascular, cancer, neurodegenerative, and metabolic things, which mostly is diabetes. But to sum it all up, basically the biggest thing you can do, he
Is
believes,
drink sake and run.
that's BS. It is exercise. And the stats on the people that do nothing and their risk of all cause mortality versus the people that even do something, walking, cycling, and weight training is amazing. So for all of those things, exercise is the most important. So
Exercise.
get off your asses, people, and just do something. There you go.
Yes. Hunt rabid beaver.
Yes.
And gnaw
Seriously,
wood.
hunt, hike, garden,
Hunt rabid
pick
beaver.
up that heavy 50-pound beaver, haul it out of there. But just like Nike
I
says, just
like
do something.
I'm literally
That's the best thing you can do.
I'm literally going to be laying awake tonight, giggling, thinking about like how insanely scary it would be to be attacked by a rabid beaver.
Yeah.
Like all you like okay, so here's the thing, right? Okay, one of the things that
Do you know it's rabbit? Like, was it frothing and foaming at the mouth?
well,
and
it would be wiping it
spazzing?
away because it's
Oh,
swimming.
stop.
So, but one of the things that so check this out. One of the things you get if you have symptomatic rabies is hydrophobia. So you're absolutely terrified of water. Okay. Don't like it's super weird, but you froth at the mouth and are terrified of water. And I'm like, how does a beaver deal with being terrified of water? It lives in water. It's an
Maybe
aquatic
made a nest on land.
mammal.
Who knows?
I guess it gets pissed off and bites people.
You're just reading too much.
No, I'm just like, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat going, I just was attacked in my
So
dream by a
no,
rabbit.
what you have to do is so I have to tell this. I was sitting on our porch in the backyard reading one morning. It's like 8 in the morning with my coffee and it's sunny. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my left eye, I see something marching along the lawn right beside the deck. And I'm like, what the heck? And there is a big pond, not a pond, sorry. There's a creek behind our yard and forest. And I'm thinking, what is this? It's moving at a pace it's not a dog and it's not a cat, I don't think. And I look out and I'm thinking it's a massive rat. And no,
it is a massive rat.
it is a nutria. If
Which
you've
is
never
a massive
seen
rat.
one, it looks like a beaver met a rat, and it is so ugly. And he is just walking along past me like I'm not even there, minding his own business. Totally freaky. And then, of course, I chased the thing trying to get a picture of it in my slippers and
Well, and they're not native to Oregon. They were imported.
Yeah.
To be
Nutria.
bred.
Gary got it. Yeah.
To be bred for their fur like minks, and it didn't take off. Nobody wanted a nutria coat. They wanted a mink coat. So people just like released.
Well, this nutria was not scared of me, or he didn't smell me or whatever. But man, those are freaky, ugly.
Yeah, but it wasn't rabbit.
It wasn't.
Wait till it's rabbit.
We don't know, but he seemed to be pretty calm and chill. And anyways,
he was. Well, it's Oregon. He was doing it. He did a
I've
really.
never seen one up close like that. He was literally.
He did a really
3 feet away from me.
A really heady body stone dab hit before he was.
No, he was just going for his morning walk. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next.
So yes, Gary's right. He's commenting and says exercise be good for us, and you know what? Exercise is good for you until you're in the grave. So, get moving. There's always something you can do, and it prevents so many falls, injuries. I was thinking of that when I was up on that ladder today painting. I wish my legs were stronger, holding me on this unsteady ladder.
Okay, so are you ready for the pièce de résistance?
Okay, I'll stop talking.
In great stories. I think this happened yesterday. Truck leaking human feces causes multi-vehicle crash on Connecticut highway.
So first of all, why has a truck got human feces in it?
They did not explain that. I
That's
have a
what I
feeling.
want to know. So they did not explain. Was
No,
it hauling porta potties?
my assumption is it was hauling porta potties. But here's the part that's the best.
Was the truck leaking the human feces, or was it
The truck was
coming
leaking
out
the
of the
human feces.
Oh,
It leaked so much human feces on the highway that it caused 10 vehicle crashes. One of the vehicles, as shown here, is a police car
you can barely tell it's a
that is
police car.
entirely destroyed because it literally hit a gigantic slick of shit. And I can
I'm
imagine.
staring at the picture, looking at it. It's all red and looks like it's bloodied. It's kind of funny because it looks like it's a white car. Maybe it was two-toned. Who knows? And I'm looking at the person standing beside it, and I'm looking to see if they're standing in a pile of gray ooze. It's hard to tell, but
It's
anyway.
But it gets better. It gets better. The cops.
So how does that make the highway so slippery?
Well, shit is slippery. So here's the guy. Shaky Stevenson Joseph was the driver of the truck from not Intercontinental Trucking, from Incontinence Trucking, apparently. I made that up. And he got charged with an illegal load
Exactly.
of shit.
An illegal load.
Yes, because they were convinced he knew it was leaking, and he kept driving down the interstate.
One count of operating a vehicle without a proper load cover. God, so
and everyone wants their load covered.
I want to know how he was carrying that. That's the thing I want to know.
I got to go back.
But seriously, can you imagine? That's just nasty. I just think of the time, and I probably remember this wrong. You'll correct me. When we had our motorhome, we drove across the country with our kids in this thing, and we had everything happen, every mishap that was like that episode of RV with Robin Williams. Other than we didn't drive it into the lake, but we had everything else go on. We should have made a movie about our own story. You were emptying the porta potty, the Blackwater, at one of those side station things, and I think you didn't have the hose connected right, and it exploded and shot shit, etc., all over the place. And I just can't even imagine it coming out of a truck.
No, did you know that the Dave Matthews Band? This is a great story. Dave Matthews Band, their tour bus was driving over. It might have been the Verrazano Bridge in New York. It was a bridge in New York, and the Blackwater tank blew up and showered other cars with Dave Matthews human excrement.
Can't sell that on eBay.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I got a piece of his hair. I got a piece of his t-shirt. So
I got roadie shit.
That's
literally. So that one, look that one up,
nasty.
kids. That was
I wonder if the hazmat people had to come and decontaminate the area, or
I would think
everybody have to get a hepatitis.
It's human.
Everybody have to get a hepatitis B vaccine for that.
But you never know. So again, our friend Sabine Hazen, the Queen of Shit, will be on the show again in the next few weeks. Maybe, can you imagine though? Can you imagine
what, changing your microbiome because you
absorbed
it?
Yes, if it was what if it was all porta potties from NFL players or from geniuses that were at a conference, and they're all rocket scientists, neurosurgeons. Literally, maybe you should be lapping that up.
Stop. That's just why.
Well, it's a free fecal transplant.
You're full of it already. You can't swallow it. Your gastrointestinal tract and acid in your stomach will neutralize most of that stuff. No,
it'll make it down.
Not the right way to
do it. Will. Well, if you eat kefir or kefir, which I think sounds stupid, your gastrointestinal tract doesn't destroy that. It still colonizes your colon.
That's true.
So you could like what if it was a truck full of Tom Brady's shit?
I'm just getting
right.
sick
You should
in
be
my
out there.
mouth.
You should be out there
listening to
with like a mop, mopping that
just
up.
getting sick, and I'm sure everybody that's listening to this is going to be
Like
throwing up
like
in their mouth as
mopping,
well.
like you could sell that. You could sell that. Like just squeeze it into cups.
This is total BS advice on S.
Just saying. Anyway, so what are we drinking?
You've gotten totally off track. I'm cutting you off.
I'm drinking
Totally
something.
cutting you off of all.
I'm drinking cloudy sake
So
from this company
this was
that has a bunch of slashes and squiggles in its name.
Oh my goodness.
And I think it's called Fukushima sake.
So this
which
was in
means
his birthday bag present that we unboxed on the show last month. It's an Aladdin bottle, and this is the cloudy sake version. And I can't pronounce it, the company's name. But it is Nigori Aladdin bottle, and it's from it's Japanese sake, basically.
It's Fukushima. Right here. It says
It was too
Fukushima
horrible for me to drink.
no sake.
I took a taste and said no, thank you.
Nigor Izaki.
Okay. Very, very good. And
I will do it in Japanese.
for all the rest of us, 2-Town Cider House Outsider.
From Corvallis, Oregon.
That's what I'm drinking.
Yes.
I can't drink beer anymore, but man, I do like my cider. This is the Outsider Unfiltered Hard Cider made with Jonagold apples. It's refreshing. It's been in my fridge. And after a day in the hot sun painting the house on a ladder, nothing like a cider. So
you can paint the house, but you can't make me a sandwich. That doesn't seem right.
Shaking my head. No. 2-Town Cider House.
I should do the sake review in Japanese.
How about you just do the 2-Town Cider House review in
English? Okay, it's like no. So if you can't see it, it doesn't work as good. But it's like this sake is very good. I love it, especially when I am hunting Godzilla.
Yeah, very, very well.
I mean, that's kind of that's my understanding of Japanese. When I watch,
in my head, yes.
But the best part about watching,
you need this cup.
Yes, Japanese Godzilla movies is they call Godzilla by the Japanese name, which is
Godzilla.
Gojira.
Oh,
one of the greatest
to tell
heavy metal bands in the world. Gojira.
There's a little fun fact for you all.
Yes.
I didn't know that before.
Okay, so
have you heard of hyperbaric therapy?
If you want better circulation, oxygenation, or respiration,
turn up the volume.
Everyone appreciates the increased energy and clarity.
Athletes say goodbye to those PRs because you're going to blast
So
them.
how does it work?
We load your body with oxygen.
That means
less inflammation,
fewer allergies,
faster healing, and more.
Come see us, 1200 Executive Parkway.
You know, the Upside Down building.
Call us, 541-636-3278.
That's 541-636-3278.
We have some incredible deals.
Heal, build, and thrive
with New Leaf Hyperbarics.
Got air?
Let's get to the next story,
Yeah,
which
this
is
has gone down the feces trail explosion. This show for sure.
Here comes Peter Cottontail hopping down the feces trail.
Oh, am I gonna? You got another nasty news story?
No,
here?
I have. This one goes into the column of maximum awesomeness.
Oh, I thought I was going to share my news updates, but yours are too fun.
Okay, so this one's nuts. Surgeons in Israel reattach boy's head to his neck after internal decapitation.
I know you told me about that, and I'm like, what?
So this kid was hit by a car, and they rushed him to this hospital in Jerusalem. And what an internal decapitation is your head is literally removed from your neck. So all the ligaments that attach your head to the top of your cervical spine are, so like literally your head is off of your spine, which is a problem.
It doesn't mean that the skin's cut and your head is lying beside you.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
The skin is still in.
It didn't take out his major vessels. It didn't take out his spinal cord.
Right.
It
So
just
the blood vessels are stretched. The spinal cord stretches. The head
right
comes off of the bone, or the bones separate.
So what's amazing about this story, though, it gets even better, is that one of the surgeons, Ianav, who returned to Israel a year ago after a fellowship at trauma centers in Toronto, estimated that this rare injury has occurred in Israel before. As far as he is aware, he is one of just a few surgeons in Israel with this, who can specialize in these. He literally did a fellowship in spine trauma.
Yeah.
And he did 3 internal decapitation surgeries before.
I'm thinking,
And this guy
and
happens to
I'm-
be at the hospital where they bring this kid and they sew his head back onto his neck.
Yeah, and when you told me that, I was like, he did 3 before. I'm like, how often does internal decapitations happen? I honestly don't know that I've ever really heard
did
of
you
it.
look at this down here, this stat? At Children's Hospital in Philadelphia from 2003, they stated that of the 2,006 patients that they treated for spinal trauma,
For spinal cord injuries, yeah.
between 1983 and 2003, okay? So 20 years, they had 16
from this
that had an internal decapitation. 16 out of 2006. So it's unbelievably rare. And this kid happens to go to the hospital where this guy is a trauma
and it's
surgeon.
Usually, is it more common in kids, I think?
No,
Because their head is
it's
bigger?
way more common in adults.
Oh, I thought it was...
No, it's way more common in adults because kids are super plastic.
Yeah, but I thought because their head's way bigger in relation to their bodies.
No, it's the most uncommon in children.
I was reading on there that I thought maybe that it was more common.
It's less common because normally if your head gets taken off of your neck, you're dead, right, at the scene. And as you age, everything that connects everything to everything gets stiffer and more calcified and whatnot. So it's easier to break ligaments. Trust me, I know. I've been there and done that. And so in kids, if they survive, they usually just don't get this because they're either dead from the impact or it doesn't work. So,
well, kids' noggins, especially, when they're younger,
but the
huge.
best part of this story is the kid had 0 neurological deficits. They sewed his head back onto his neck, and he literally walked out of the hospital. I'm like,
that's like,
are you freaking kidding me?
Freaky stuff you can talk about later in life. My head was decapitated, and I'm fine. Like, honestly, but
yeah, no, like forever at cocktail parties. Although he is Palestinian, so I'm not sure if he's Islamic and doesn't drink. Well, he doesn't drink because he's like 6, but forever at cocktail parties.
There's some insightful.
You'll be able to go. Yeah, I had my head ripped off my neck, and I got reattached.
It's like, tell us a fun fact about yourself. At some kind of party, right? It's like, yeah, well, I was like the captain of the whatever team. I was valedictorian. I had my head like decapitated, sewn back on, and I love to tell about it.
Yes. Yes. So,
you win the prize.
That wins the maximum awesomeness prize for this week.
Pretty cool. Well, I found something in the news. My stuff isn't funny and ridiculousness and silly, although you will think that this is, Tim. We talked about this earlier. I belong to a crowdfunding company that sends information about things you can invest in on a regular basis by email. And I got to find this here. So they sent me some information about this one product, and they were having a medical series of new things in tech in medicine. And this thing called, I don't know, I've never heard of it before, but some of you might have. It's called Pool, P-U-L. What it is, it's a smart approach to hydration, and it's a way to track, integrate, and train hydration using cognitive science and AI. And basically, it's a smart cap, and then you use an app with it for reusable water bottles to coach optimal hydration. So this thing basically looks like a fancy screw top bottle that has, I think, like a straw inside it. Connects to the app that they have that goes with it, and then it connects with Apple Health, Google Fit, um, and it's supposed to monitor every like sip of water and when you take it and your heart rate. And everything that happens to you physiologically. And their goal is to try to prevent people from being dehydrated and unhealthy. And it measures every sip at the precise time so they can check patterns and analyze it.
Do you know what else prevents you from getting dehydrated? And it's existed for as long as there's been humans. Getting thirsty.
No. So we talked about this before.
This is the dumbest. No. You don't need freaking artificial intelligence to tell you when to drink. So you get thirsty for the love of God. This is the stupidest, dumbest. AI is going to tell you when to take a freaking drink of water.
Well, anyway.
No, AI, I mean, honestly, it should be called, what is it? It's artificial intelligence. It should be AS, artificial stupidity. That is the dumbest, most.
I did this because I knew he would have this reaction.
I'm totally triggered by this. So this is the stupidest shit you could come up with. Don't invest in this company. I don't care. Sue me, you dumbasses from Pool. If you need AI to drink, I don't need AI to drink. No, I need AI on the vodka bottle that says you're a drunk piece of shit. Stop drinking. That would be helpful.
Well, I can put your booze in that bottle and it will tell you that. And your watch will
water, drinking water. You need an app on your this. Okay, this is proof we are completely doomed as a civilization. Doomed.
So, guess how much it costs?
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, I can just see rich, complete, you know what's lining up to buy this.
I looked online and A, it was sold out. B, it's $99.
$100 for a cap to tell you that you're thirsty.
So I'm thinking, how about you just
there's a lot
get
of rich
one of these and carry it around with you? I'm holding up my 18 or 24 ounce. I don't even know.
It's sold out.
And keep it beside you and fill the darn thing up and carry it around.
It is actually sold out at $100 for a freaking AI cap that tells you every time you have something to drink.
I went to click on the thing to purchase just to see, and it was like sold out right now. Yeah.
Wow.
They probably have it back in stock.
I'm going to have to take some blood pressure
I knew you all would like his reaction to that.
That is the dumbest thing ever.
Pretty fascinating.
What's next? What's next? A thing that you put in your mouth that tells you what your body temperature is? I bet you they're going to come up with that piece right away. Oh, but it'll be connected to AI. Wow. Your temperature is 98.2. And tomorrow it's going to be 98.35.
Anyway, that was pretty fun.
Sold out.
Yeah, for real. Take a breath. And then I've got to find it here on my iPad, but they had something else that there's lots of stuff going on in AI technology that they wanting people to invest in. And that's a popular thing especially for computers, etc., managing your businesses. But there's another piece of technology that I at first thought it was really stupid. And then as I read more about it, it's pretty cool. I'll have to see if I can find it quickly. So then the name of it escaped me. I'll see if I can find it. But what it is, and I laughed at first because it's this device that people are wearing around their ankle.
Oh no, it's Evolution. It's called Evolution.
It looks like one of those trackers that people wear when they're on house arrest or on probation. And
you mean one of those trackers you wore when you were on house arrest?
Yeah, but we'll talk about that on another episode. Evolution Devices has made this thing, and I'm like, what the heck? So it shows this person wearing it around their calf, and it's supposed to, you wear it, and it provides information about how you're biomechanically moving. And it is digital therapy solution for people, especially with all kinds of mobility issues and foot drop issues. And here, I just lost it, my tech. But basically, it's really pretty cool for people with things like MS and neurodegenerative conditions or that have injuries.
Or people that got one glass of water less than they needed to be optimally hydrated.
Because you wear it and it can actually send feedback and data on what's happening. But it also, I think it acts like a TENS unit and stimulates those muscles to contract, and it helps them walk better
That actually
and
makes
recruit muscles. And you can put it on different body parts. So it's really helped a lot of patients who have gait imbalances, and it provides information to the healthcare providers, and it looks like it's a positive feedback type thing. So that's pretty cool how
so
technology provides that information. Because I'm
no,
thinking,
it's
even with my hip replacement, I knew that I had this gait imbalance and wasn't recruiting my glute muscles and other things, and I had to consciously try to either hit the muscle or think about it, but to actually have some unit that is it stimulating those muscles to contract a little bit like a TENS thing, giving feedback, positive and negative. I think it's pretty cool. So
yeah, but now everything has to be AI. And here's the problem. When the non-artificial intelligence is completely stupid, what's the artificial intelligence going to be?
mhm.
AS, baby. Artificial stupidity.
Well,
That's where we're going.
it's we got to work on the education of Americans first before we can hope to keep technology being developed. If our own population can't write a sentence with a noun and a
They won't
verb
need
in
to
it
anymore.
by high school.
No, seriously, go on Chat GTP and just like ask it. Say, write me a 500 word essay on Abraham Lincoln, and it just appears.
Yeah, but that's not the person doing it.
No, it scrubbed all the information on the internet. That's how it works, right? The
No,
AI goes and scrubs all this
but
information, and then it just comes up with stuff.
well, someday there's going to be a big EMF. Isn't that the words? Pulse. It takes everything out, and then it'll be like that movie. Is it Wall-E? We're on the planet where they have to actually think.
They're all gonna, everyone.
They won't know how to light a match, for goodness sake.
Exactly. Yes, because we've extinguished smoking, and no one will know how to light a match.
Well, there's a reason. What's up with the podcast this week, Tim?
Okay, so tomorrow, which would be Thursday,
or if you're listening on the replay,
it would be last Thursday. It's amazing. Is Martha Rosenbaum.
Martha's been on the show before,
and she's amazing.
A journalist for writes for different. Well, she's an independent journalist, writes for different publications, and this episode that's coming out is all about the use of pharmaceuticals.
Well, specifically psychotropic drugs in the military, which is awesome. Today's episode that dropped was all about perseverance, as we had mentioned. And then, of course, Monday is the re-air of this
lovely show.
I love insanity. So if you only caught a couple minutes live and you want to listen to it whilst you drive to work, we'll try to make your Monday a little less Monday.
Yeah. As long as you don't hit a patch of shit on the way, you can listen to this shit.
Well,
instead.
If it's a patch, it won't matter. If it's an absolute, if it's a freeway that has a veneer of greasy, can you imagine how dangerous it would have been if that was all from a Taco Bell? How much? It wouldn't have been 10 cars.
Burn on the Taco Bell.
It wouldn't have been 10 cars in the car wreck. It might have been hundreds.
So, are you advocating for any specific or against any specific?
I'm not saying I'm not taking a position for or against. I'm just saying that
I'm staying out of this one. Staying out of this one.
There is connections to greasy explosions.
Hey, by the way, we have a.
Can you imagine the trucking company that's happened to, right? Like which I have named Incontinence Trucking. Their new motto is
shit happens.
You plop it.
No, I'm thinking shit happens.
No, You plop it, we drop it.
That's pretty good. I think shit happens better. Anyway, we
All the way. It happens all the way up the I-95. They literally called the guy. The cops were like, this is a problem. Called the dispatcher, which called the guy. And he's like, just took an exit. Didn't pull over. Didn't stop. Just kept driving.
Wow. You have to think that's happened quite a few times with people with their motorhomes not knowing, having the plug undone or something.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think of what volume it would take to cause a 10-car pileup.
Okay, well, while you think of that, I'm going to have people
Like
sign
a
up.
10-car pileup.
Sign up to read our newsletter, Truth Serum, that comes out Mondays, where you get some other tidbits of useless information like this, some photos of us having fun throughout summer currently, what we're up to. Sometimes we drop a few truth bombs and shit busters in there as well. But basically, it's just a little extra information for you all. We appreciate your shout outs. We appreciate you sharing the show, and we appreciate all of our fans. And on our podcast, we try to give everybody a shout out. Not everybody, somebody, a unique person every episode that's commented. And I don't know. I think Gary gets to get a shout out this week because he's
Yes.
the standalone
And Gary,
fan on the
I
show
apologize for having my earbuds in when I was at the track and I missed you.
Yes.
I think I kind of waved. I was like, wow, this guy's getting after it, running stairs and doing push-ups.
Yeah, I know. It was so kind of you to send us a message and say that you were trying to connect with Tim, but he was being antisocial with his earbuds and his Gojira play.
No, I usually listen to podcasts. I feed my mom.
How can you listen to podcasts when you're working out? I need exercise to feel.
No, I know. I'm focused like a freaking laser beam.
On a podcast?
When I'm working out? Absolutely.
Well.
Yeah. No, it's
well, that's a good sign that people can focus with podcasts. It means they can listen to hours while they're working out too.
They can.
Oh, Gary's he wants to know what podcast. Can you remember what podcast?
That was a couple days ago.
While he's thinking of it.
That was
I've been listening to Audible lately. Like I said, I just finished the book Unoffendable, and I will give you a little hint. We are doing an interview tomorrow with Brant Hansen, the author of Unoffendable, that supposedly really made a big difference and changed Tim's insight and anger on when he's driving on the highway and hits the shit truck. He will get angry because anger is his love language in traffic. It's an amazing book about not being offended and how to just let anger go and not let people their transgressions mess up your life. So we're doing that interview with him. I've just finished the Audible book. It's amazing. I recommend everybody get it. And what was Tim listening to?
I was listening to Joe Rogan, episode 2008, with Stephen C. Meyer, who is a philosopher of science and a big
oh yes,
he's big into he is a proponent of intelligent design.
Right, we won't give much about that show away because we shouldn't be pumping Joe Rogan. He should be pumping our show, but talking about what aliens and aircraft.
No, this was not aliens. This was all no. Stephen Meyer was all about. It was 100% about intelligent design and how the Earth is so fine tuned that it suggests that a mind created it and not random chance, etc. Great episode. Joe was, I think, quite fair.
I'm sure Joe will appreciate you saying that.
Yes.
That's all.
I'm saving up my best stuff for when I get on his show, though. It's going to be amazing.
Good. I'm sure people will just wish that you don't save it up because the odds of that happening
are not high.
Yes. Anyway. All right, Gary, maybe he will see you on the track soon this week, and we hope everybody else gets their ass out onto the track or into the gym. And even if all you can do is lift 5 pounds, which is what this previous athletic beast can only do something. It will change your fitness, but your attitude and your mental health. So we'll see you on the track and in the gym. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Now, a final word from our sponsor. At Pearson Rabbits, they understand that life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness, injury, or catastrophic event could put you and your family in a devastating financial situation. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Rabbits builds human connections before they create quotes. Visit www.pearsonrabbits.com today and embark on a journey of safeguarding your future. It's no secret that medicine is a bit, uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible. We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.